Hiya, folks. It's me, Vincent K. McMahon, telling you about this brand new app that my sweetie boo, the genius Michael Fraser, has sent me. Apparently, this is an app with all of your favorite WWE superstars, both past and present, including AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Sting, and a bunch of other yahoos. It's got some of the greatest matches in the history of professional wrestling. It's got Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe, and it is absolutely glorious. Speaking of glorious, it's also got Bobby Roode all over it. So we got stuff for past, for present, and for future for one very low, affordable price of. Do you mean what? I am not going to say anything good about the Impact Plus app. No, I'm not going to say it's the most valuable professional thing in all of wrestling. I've been what? Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, please ignore everything I just said about the Impact Plus app. If you think it's the greatest value in all professional wrestling, like all of the smart people out there, just remember, Vincent Kenny McMahon says no. The WWE app is worse than the Impact Plus app in every way. I'm just going to go away now. Oh, sweet justice.
April Fool's come early, mate.
Oh, you have no idea. After all the things that idiot has done for me and the way that I want to run the WWE, you have absolutely no idea how great that is.
Cheers, Hunter.
Cheers. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bodyslams and Dropkicks. Featuring the one, the only, the genius, the person who's actually leading Impact in the whole predictions category right now. The genius one, the one who leads Impact, the one that is leading the one company that matters, home of the greatest app in all of professional wrestling. It is Michael Fraser.
Thank you.
And the man whose opinion is as cold and dark as a certain heart of Vincent Kenny McMahon's, Mr. Dean Connolly.
I thought mine was worse than Vince's.
Oh, God, not after you've seen this round of releases. Oh, my God.
Lay it on me.
I'm sorry, you've been replaced.
Not literally.
So, seriously, though, just take all of my releases, all of my friends in the business, except for Shawn Michaels, and get rid of them. William Regal, Samoa Joe.
Oh, come on. No.
Scott Armstrong is gone.
No.
Road Dogg Jesse James is gone.
Oh, hell no.
It's basically how WWE killed NXT.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh.
No, go ahead, sing it, Fraser.
Sing it.
Nah, hey, goodbye.
Technically, that's what we usually think with your movie knowledge.
It's fine because you know what? I won Impact this time around, and Dean Conley is losing. All is right with the universe.
Right. But the year is young. We've still got another 11 months to go. Plenty of pay-per-views. And this coming from the man who lost 2 of the 3 sets of predictions. And by the way, don't forget you have a forfeit for losing the most.
It's fine because it's come from a man grilled by Gail Kim, so.
Oh, no. I seem to remember, Mr. Fraser, that you actually agreed that it wasn't much of a burn.
You know what? I want to hear more from the absolute genius that is Michael Fraser. If this continues, what is your plan for the end of the year when you win Impact because you're a genius?
I don't know. Probably think of something for Dean to watch. Probably like the worst matches to take place, like that blindfold match, and
Mate,
That is
I've watched Jake
commentary.
Roberts' blindfold match versus Rick Martel. Bring it.
Yeah, but Dean, you have to read like a Hollywood blockbuster, and everything terrible. You have to review it like it's gold.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's not wrestling based.
Yeah, but
it has to be wrestling based. No offense, but the forfeit we've got for you is wrestling based.
You get to watch the worst matches and talk about how they're brilliant. You get to treat them like they're 5-star matches.
Is one of them with Kenny Omega?
Kenny hasn't had a bad match, so
I think me and my co-host would like to disagree with you on that.
He has not had one bad match.
Oh, this is what we told Christine about.
No. He's absolutely right. Kenny Omega hasn't had one bad match. He's had several. He's absolutely right. Fraser, thank you so much for making Dean's point.
Cheers, Fraser. Do you know what? I'm so happy now that he's done that. Cheers, Fraser.
You guys good? Can we get on with it?
Just one more thing. We just have literally done a podcast interview. Can you imagine what would have happened if Fraser would have been there? I'm pretty sure Christine would have wet herself.
It's true. Fraser does have that effect on people.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he makes Vince McMahon wet himself every week.
In both senses of the word.
You good?
No, not as good as when. Well, to be fair, we are good, but nothing will ever top when we were good when we bashed Kenny Omega. In fact, we roasted Kenny Omega to the point where even a Sunday roast wasn't roasted enough.
Well, there's Kenny Omega news coming up, so...
Oh, has he retired? Has he got enough of a poorly shoulder that he's called it quits?
No, I'll lead in this one because I know you guys are going to talk about it for like the entire podcast. So
if it's what I think it is, we probably will.
Kenny Omega fires back at fans for sending cruel messages on his social media timeline. Prior to AEW's Battle of Belts special on Saturday night, Kenny Omega sent out a tweet to promote Britt Baker versus Rio women's title match. There were some negative replies, which led to Omega writing the following message. It felt nice to tweet something I was passionate about, but yikes, what a mistake. What compels people to leave cruel comments about others on my page? If you like someone someplace else, congrats. No need to go out of your way to tweet at someone you already hate. So here's the tweet. Kenny sent out a tweet about a great AEW main event tonight. Rio's combination technique, heart, and natural ability are unparalleled. Can she dethrone DMD megastar Britt Baker? Excited now for the next barn burner between Serena Deeb and Shida Hikaru and their feud going on. And then Omega wrote the following response to a fan that criticized Rio. Maybe look in a mirror before posting utter nonsense. Rio could easily beat the shit out of you in real life, brah.
So here's the thing. You know what? As much as Kenny
there's more. One fan called Omega a pussy and suggested that he can't take the heat. Here was Omega's response to heat. So by talking about things I like, I deserve rude, disgusting, and sometimes racially charged replies. I can take the heat. The ladies don't deserve the disrespect. Another fan replied to a photo of Omega Rio from when she was a kid and said that it was weird, which led to Omega writing the following. You're tweeting a whole lot about questionable activity when your profile picture boasts you inappropriately touching a child you may or may not have abducted. Go away. There's a lot. There's a lot of fighting, basically.
So here's the thing. I can't condemn Kenny Omega for defending his peers.
I can't. No one can. Anyone can't.
That's the thing. Like, as much as we roast Kenny Omega here on this podcast,
well, two of us do.
Yeah. When the third one is, tries to live in ignorance. You can't. I don't understand why you would go and criticize Kenny Omega for something he didn't do. Or better yet, for trying to promote the brand that he's on, and the people that he's grown close with. If you want to go at Kenny Omega, go ahead. Go at Kenny Omega. Absolutely do that for Kenny Omega. But if you're looking at Britt Baker DMD, why not go at her? why not? Why not take your comments directly to Britt Baker? I don't approve of the way that Kenny Omega handles a lot of his fan interactions because, quite frankly, if you're going to take all those insults and fire it back, you are really promoting a culture where this sort of thing is okay to do. Kenny No Balls really needs to grow some, and get off of Twitter if you're going directly at your fans like that in such a childish way. Get off. But in terms of going to your friend's defense, absolutely. In terms of tweeting stuff out to promote the brand and promote the people that you've grown to be a fan of, absolutely. Yeah. There are better things for fans to complain about than to go at Kenny Omega for that.
It's true. There is actually a state of WWE at the minute, which I'm sure Fraser will get into. I'm not going to say that Kenny Omega shouldn't stick up for what he does, but the way Fraser has, in my opinion, the way Fraser has basically read everything out is that Kenny Omega, be honest, like Nathan said, we do give Kenny Omega a lot of shit, but that's only because Fraser loves him so much. There is a fine line between dealing with people how you should deal with them and the way that you shouldn't. That was the way you shouldn't, because not only that, but you are also representing yourself, you're representing the company that you're in. Granted, he is an executive vice president, but he's still one of the heads of a company, and he should set the example.
Yeah, he
no offense, but if somebody went to Britt Baker, bloody hell, Britt Baker can take care of herself. Hell, Adam Cole would take care of her.
But that's the thing. If you're an executive vice president of the company, there's a lot better ways to deal with it than going directly and trying to insult fans. Because it's not going to work, and it's just going to perpetuate this kind of treatment even more because they know they can get a rise out of you. Twitter has this handy dandy feature. It's called block.
Yep, I have done it on multiple occasions. It's quite simple. Just go on to said person, go into the options. I think it's at the top right hand side of the screen. Go down to block, and then just block it. Then press yes when it says, "Are you sure you will not be able to get any more notifications or messages from said user?"
I know it's gotten pretty bad. There are some comments that I haven't even read out that I don't plan to because they've gone to very questionable territory from fans.
Don't read them out then.
Yeah, it's bad about what.
One thing I will say about Twitter, I used to really enjoy going on Twitter, but I do not enjoy Twitter now. I don't enjoy it to the point where I haven't even got Twitter installed on my new Samsung Galaxy Z3 flip phone. I've only got Instagram. And this is coming from the guy who literally used to love Twitter and would go on Twitter every single day. Hell, Chrissy Teigen was the mayor of Twitter and she left. So what's that telling you?
Yep.
Oh, is that the Lord?
Yep, that is Lucian.
Oh, Lucian, we might have a surprise Christmas present for you.
It's true.
Might even have one for Helena as well.
So next thing in the news, speculation about what will happen with the WWE title and Universal title heading into Mania. WWE champ Brock Lesnar is set to defend his title against Lashley at the Royal Rumble premium live event. Reigns is expected to defend the Universal title against Seth Rollins at the show. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer at 4WOnline.com discussed the current storyline direction for Reigns and Brock Lesnar or Paul Heyman heading to Mania. Plan for day one was that Seth was going to be the WWE champion coming off the show, and Lesnar was going to be the Universal champion coming off the show. So Lesnar is now the WWE champ. So I'm wondering if they are just going to go. Seth was going to defend the title on one of the Mania nights, and then Lesnar and Roman were going to be for the other title on the other Mania night. I was kind of told it's going to end up where it's supposed to be, so I wonder if that means they're going to switch belts, like the Universal belt with Seth goes on Raw and the WWE belt goes to Roman would end up most likely. I'm going to guess Brock would have been on SmackDown, which was not the plan, but maybe how they end up recalibrating everything because Reigns missing the pay-per-view and them deciding to go with Brock to win the other title because Brock was going to win the one title. Can't say 100% that Brock was going to win the other title. I mean, I'm pretty sure Seth, I know 100% that was the plan to win the WWE championship, but Brock had to be winning over Reigns at day one because it was the second match. Roman won the first, and Heyman was going to end up with Brock. I figured that Heyman was going to screw Roman in the match, but the match never happened. Still waiting to do the match at Royal Rumble. The decision was made that Paul had already been fired, and we're not going to take him off TV, so we're going to put him with Brock right away with no storyline. He's just with Brock. I think that's how it was going to happen. I don't know. It means Seth wins, but it would make sense that would happen. So that's kind of something there. Quote courtesy of WrestlingNews.co.
I actually heard a plan that they were going to unify the belts, but that's kind of like pointless and irrelevant.
Yeah.
What?
But in fairness, hasn't Roman Reigns going down with COVID cost Nathan 2 points in the predictions of day one?
It also cost Biggie his reign, which really sucks.
Which I was absolutely mortified for. But then again, if the report is accurate, Seth Rollins would have won it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I picked Rollins. And here's the thing, like prediction scores aside right now, WWE has a problem at their main event scene.
Yeah. I think we discussed this about, what time is it now? 20. We discussed it while we were waiting for Fraser, didn't we?
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. WWE is fantastic at pressure booking, which is Roman Reigns, they found out hours beforehand, was unable to go because of COVID. So what do? Instead of outright canceling Reigns, Lesnar, letting them both go home and depriving the fans, you stack Lesnar into the fatal four-way that you already had. I disagree with Lesnar winning that. Not only because I lost 2 points, but because it doesn't make sense. But now you're in a situation where, okay, Brock versus Bobby Lashley. That's new, that's fresh, that's cool. What do you do on SmackDown now? Because you don't really have anybody all that credible. You've got to go with Seth Rollins. But what happens when Reigns dethrones Rollins?
If that even happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh no, it's been confirmed. It's happening at the Royal Rumble. It's been confirmed.
I guess we've got our answer, but I still want a Reigns versus. I don't really want another Reigns versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, because how many times have we been through that fairy tale match?
There is one person, but I don't think they would come back.
Go on.
A certain animal.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
No, he's long. No, he said he was retired. If Batista says he's retired, he will not come back.
Nope, but I mean, like, literally, that would be like the only other big matchup they could really pull. But Dave's not going to ever come back. And
I mean, no offense, but apparently he was wanted for Saudi Arabia, but WWE had to tell them no, he's retired.
Yeah, I wouldn't step foot in Crown Jewel either at the way that pay-per-view is. That's true.
Saudi millions cannot buy you a decent pay-per-view. It's just how it is.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, if they are on about changing the belts around, it would actually be nice, because has everyone ever noticed how the Universal Championship always has like about someone who has about a 14-month reign, which I'm pretty sure Roman's must be going on about 18 months by now. Must be.
Roman is give me a second.
It's at least 16.
So with all due respect, I hope he does lose at Mania, at Royal Rumble, sorry. Have someone else take on Rollins at WrestleMania and then have Lesnar v. Reigns, say night one or night two. Personally, I'd rather that be night one, because then as soon as it's over and done with, everyone can just forget about it.
Roman said 561 days.
561 days.
That makes sense.
561 days. That's about 2/3 of a year. So.
Oh, that's over. That's over a year.
It's between 16 and 18 months, just with a quick figure count in my head. Anyway, carry on, Fraser, now that we've been through that.
Taya Valkyrie talks about her run with WWE NXT and possibly working for AEW during a virtual signing with East Coast Autographs Auctions. Taya Valkyrie, aka Frankie Monet, talked about her time with the WWE NXT. It was great being NXT, but I wish that I had gotten more of an opportunity to show what I could do. I'll be honest, I didn't feel like I was given the opportunity I needed, and I don't even think I scratched the surface of what you all know, La Wera Loca, and Taya Valkyrie bring to the table. But with that said, I did gain a lot of knowledge. I learned a lot about myself, and I am super excited to bring all of that and remind all of you about who I am starting next week. Valkyrie was commenting on possibly working for AEW. Of course, I would go to AEW. I mean, they are doing something different. A lot of my peers and my best friends, my brothers, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon are over there, so why not? So we'll see what happens. Quote courtesy of postwrestling.com.
Absolute waste. She went to NXT. She should have been NXT champion. Just everyone always win. I know everyone always has whinges about how different companies fuck talent up, but I do not know a worst fuck up than Taya Valkyrie. Sorry, Frankie Monet. Sorry. Honestly, I really wanted her to stay in Impact. I bet she's I don't know if she's looking back and thinking, yeah, maybe I should have stayed in Impact. But as far as Impact goes, I hope she goes back. If she went to AEW, fair enough. It can be another title to add to the roster. But either way, she deserves so much better than NXT. And I actually thought she would thrive there, but apparently not.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We never really know where talent's going to thrive and where they aren't, and how it goes from there. It's just like here, knowing Kenny Omega won't really thrive anywhere.
Yeah, indeed, except from AEW where Don Callis is literally up his arse. Hold on, isn't that similar with how Fraser's ass is so far up the producer's ass?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything out loud, but
you see, I'm allowed to say it because I'm the fiance. I can get away with anything.
You know that interview on WWE Backstage Pass. It's CM Punk and Renee Paquette. CM Punk goes, the Shield guys. Who's your favorite? Well, if you were to ask Mel, those Final Cut guys, who's your favorite? She would say instantly a heartbeat, Fraser.
She would actually. She would say Fraser first, with you a close second, and me bottom of the pile.
That's just supposed to do.
It just goes to show that love can't buy you happiness, ladies and gentlemen. But love can happily buy you depression, which I actually feel like having.
At Battle of the Belts, Sammy Guevara has become the TNT intern champion since Cody Rhodes is not cleared to compete currently due to health issues.
Is that it?
He defeated Dustin Rhodes to win back the belt.
Good for Sammy. Now they can do the interim champion versus champion thing. If you want to have Sammy Guevara over Cody Rhodes, that is fine. Make sure Cody puts over Guevara.
Don't make Cody even more hated than he already is. But then again, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
It wouldn't be a bad thing, but again, if you're going to use Cody as a Roman Reigns-esque gatekeeper, don't use Cody as that. I'm going. Just this is your chance to give Cody a break, to let Cody go off and do other things, and let the fans, I guess, appreciate Cody for everything that he's done. That's the way I look at it anyway, but
they say people are most appreciated when they're dead. I mean, in fairness, if you are a former wrestler or actor who's gone, by the way, Sidney Poitier died this week. Everyone will be in mourning, everyone will remember how much of a great actor he was. It's kind of like everything. When Cody's not here, when people aren't here, they kind of realize how good they were. I mean, Roman Reigns was booed for however many years he was booed. He went away fighting leukemia. Everyone was on his side. When he came back, everyone was happy he was back. Then, however many months or years later it was, everyone turned on him again.
Oh, it was months.
Yeah.
And but I don't think with Roman they would be mad at Roman though.
I don't think the heat comes from the fact that he's Joe Anawahi. I think the heat comes from the fact that Roman Reigns is the guy, and we don't care what the fans think about who the guy should be.
Yeah.
It's more of a rejection of the WWE mentality than it is Joe Anawahi.
Uh-huh.
Because if you look at Roman as a heel, I would argue then and now, Roman is much more organically beloved at being hated.
Yeah.
He still has the same WWE problems, but they're not going to cheer Roman out of spite. Because they did get what they wanted. Roman Reigns is heel, and what a heel. That's the way I look at Roman Reigns anyway. That's why while I want the title off of him, I'm not going to condemn his heel run.
No, I do like his heel run, but the problem I have is when a title stays with the same person for longer than a year, it does tend to get a bit old to the point where we're just like, oh, please let the torture end. Just let somebody else win it. No offense, but Lesnar's Universal title reign was 14 months? Maybe if not longer.
Yep.
Like we've already said, Reigns is passing on between 16 and 18 months. Way too long. Bayley's was nearly a year. I seem to remember the pay-per-view she lost it. I think I repeatedly said for about 3 pay-per-views beforehand, she needs to lose it. So any title win that goes over a year, it really needs sorting out. SmackDown had the right idea when they had Jinder Mahal lose it after he was he was a champion for 6 months. Then I think it was AJ Styles had a year, and then he lost it near enough the same date that he actually won it. That is how a long title reign should be. Probably the only thing I actually commend WWE for is giving AJ Styles a year-long reign where it wasn't boring and he lost it at the right time.
At the same time, like I'm sorry, I can condemn. I cannot condemn them for the way that they booked Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, I won't do it. I do agree with you that he needs to lose the championship. I will agree that he needed to lose the championship long ago, but I think in general, Roman Reigns is one of the few things they're doing correctly.
Except for, I'll tell you what, I'll agree with you on everything, but I do think his title reign that we've just discussed has gone a bit on for a bit too long.
Yep. And I think part of the reason that you have that problem is because you don't have a big enough face to take him out.
Well, Drew McIntyre is there, but unfortunately he's on the sidelines. So
Drew McIntyre was, but I don't think with how strong they booked Roman Reigns that Drew is booked strong enough to take him down.
No offense, but he's facing Baron Corbin and Rick Moss. Not exactly what you want if you have to take the belt off Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Hopefully, old Drewy will be back for the Royal Rumble and then he'll face someone.
Yep.
Fraser? You falling asleep on us?
I'm just letting you guys state and everything. Personally, I would have just had Jay Lethal in the match against Sammy Guevara again, put Lethal over this time.
You'd make Lethal the TNT champion when he's done nothing for it?
Lethal's already built his name around. Everyone knows who Lethal is.
With all due respect, Nathan, this is not Gail Kim winning the women's title the first night in the company when nobody knows who she is. Jay Lethal is well known. No, I actually know Jay Lethal from when he started out in Impact, so I know of him anyway. I just know that when he went to Ring of Honor, he became more than he was in Impact. Same with Consequences Creed. He did very well in Impact. He's now Xavier Woods, and it took Xavier Woods long enough to bloody win something, but he's finally won something.
Yeah, and then he lost it just as quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, that was not a dig at Gail Kim. That was just simply making a point.
No, it was totally a dig at Gail Kim. You're trying to get your shots in.
Are you seriously telling me that when Gail Kim debuted, you actually knew who she was?
I can honestly say I did not.
There you go, then. That's
But
my
I
point.
can,
Exactly.
but I can also honestly say, of all the people you had to bring up, it's Gail Kim. I
She is
would
the
like to
most
know.
known
I
host,
would
but
like to know
unfortunately, I can't think of
why,
her.
of all the people, you decided to bring up Gail Kim.
It's the only person
Carlito
I can
became
think
a
of. I
champ
mean,
his
no
first
offense,
night in
but
WWE. Christian became a champion his first night in WWE.
again, people who people had no idea about.
I don't know. I think that making Sammy Guevara the interim TNT championship, right call. So you want to give it to Jay Lethal? I will agree to disagree with you.
But I would agree that not to give Jay Lethal it. They need to at least have done something nowadays
Yeah.
to actually prove that you are. It's not like the olden days phrase where social media was non-existent.
Apparently, he's been moved down the dark, though.
Yeah, I've heard that as
That's
well.
too far. That's too far.
He is too good to be on dark. He
Yes,
genuinely is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but even when you look in the Diamond Battle Royal, they didn't really do anything with him either.
I have a feeling that I just fear for Jay Lethal's sanity and future in AEW.
Yeah, that is. Sorry, I don't believe he should have won the TNT championship, but I do not believe he should be on Dark.
Put him on Rampage. He
Yep.
deserves at least that much. Anything else below Rampage is disrespectful to him, both as a person, a wrestler, and his ability.
Yep.
Shall we move it on, Fraser, before we get into a full-blooded discussion where we literally cannot stand AEW?
Yeah, WWE Royal Rumble, what is being said about WWE working with Impact Wrestling. As previously noted, several names were announced for the Women's Royal Rumble match during January 7th edition of SmackDown. Steve Carey of RingsideNews.com provided information regarding WWE working with Impact and possibly AEW. There's theory going that WWE is working with Impact Wrestling to get back at AEW. False. We were told that AEW is in discussions about projects with John Laurinaitis. WWE wants to use AEW talent for some upcoming documentaries they are doing. They're playing nice. Mickie James coming back for the Royal Rumble is an example of a big changing policy in WWE. We're told that when Laurinaitis reached out for her to be in the Rumble, she told him she's under contract to Impact. Source said that's not an issue anymore, no borders.
Don't get me wrong, I'm super happy Mickie James is in the Royal Rumble.
As am I.
I am super happy. I hope she ends up winning the Royal Rumble. I really, truly do. I don't believe she will, but I sincerely hope that she does. When it comes to no borders, what I want to do is I want to have WWE make that believed when I see it. When you look at the way that AEW looked at Impact, for example, and how Impact look at the AEW guys. Kenny Omega, when he went over to Impact, he won the championship. He was portrayed exactly the same as he would be on All Elite Wrestling. And that's the same with the Good Brothers in AEW. They were portrayed as you would expect the Good Brothers to be. With WWE, I would really enjoy seeing if let's say Mickie James makes it into the final two or the final three.
She won't.
Or if Mickie James maybe does like one or two good showings and then is tossed out halfway through the Rumble.
Yeah.
I fear that Dean is right, but I hope that Dean is wrong.
Don't get me wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but
yeah.
No, but the Forbidden Door was opened 14 months ago?
Yep.
Like you just said, Kenny Omega was portrayed one way and one way only. Yep. WWE, that's not going to happen. No offense, but when Fraser showed me the screenshot of Mickie being in the Royal Rumble, first thing I thought was, fuck off. Quite literally. I just told him to fuck off because I'm like, there's no way that's happening. No way. WWE would never do that in a million years.
Well,
so imagine my horror when I found out it was actually true.
Well, the only reason I knew it was true is because I was watching SmackDown when it happened. And I was like, oh my God, no way in hell. And what's even better is Mickie James won, so she's keeping the belt to go to Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And I hope to God they actually let her show it.
They won't.
I hope to God you're wrong. I really,
do.
truly do.
Unfortunately, one cannot forget the history that they have with each other. One cannot forget all the shit they made Mickie James go through in the last however many years she's been there. What is it? Are we on now 16 years?
The trash bag.
17?
All I can think
The
of is the
Piggy
The
trash
trash
bag.
bag, the Piggy James, all that shit. Half of it was... I was actually in Sheffield when Piggy James was at its peak, and I was like, this is wrong.
You know what's the worst part of that? The person they pushed all through that isn't even with the company anymore. Meanwhile, Mickey was.
Yeah.
But in their defense, you can't plan for that.
No,
Yeah, but even like the person Michelle McCool put over at the end of her reign and everything, even she ended up leaving the company.
Yep. And it's sad, but you can't plan for that.
The only thing I'll say, chaps, is I hope this works, but based on history and what my gut is telling me, it will not. It will go tits up. Because the bottom line is WWE is one way inclined and one way only. Their way or no way. So no offense, but at least AEW played ball with Impact long enough for it actually to get the wrestling world excited. I'm not excited by this at all because we've lived and breathed WWE for years, decades even. I know exactly how this is going to happen, and I don't even have to say anything because I know how bad it's going to get. Mickey might as well not be there, and the bottom line is I think they're so desperate they were like, shit, we have not got enough women for this Royal Rumble. We need to branch out. We need to do something. AEW could make one on its own. Impact, no offense, just had an Ultimate X match. They've managed to put six women in there. I just really think this is going to go tits up. And by the way, if she does not come out to Hardcore Country, I will not be impressed at all. No offense, but that
she needs
clapping one is absolute garbage and should have been replaced 15 years ago.
She's probably going to come out as Hardcore Country. I'm pretty sure she owns that gimmick anyway, and since she doesn't technically work for
that
them,
song.
Yep, and since she doesn't technically work for WB, I'm pretty sure she's allowed to use the gimmick that she wants. So,
I hope so. But yeah, I just have really, really bad feelings and bad reservations about this.
Next thing, health update on Hulk Hogan after it was reported that he was dealing with bad issues. On November 2021, Ric Flair mentioned during his podcast that Hulk Hogan has been dealing with some really bad health issues. During an appearance on Stories of Briscoe and Bradshaw podcast, Hogan's longtime manager, Jimmy Hart, provided an update. While he's doing a lot better still after 12 back surgeries, hips, and knees, he's doing so much better. He's been taking this therapy every week, and it's been really improving him more and more, so he can get up and get about pretty good now. He still looks good. He always has the hair and has the tan. His upper body's unbelievable. He always looks the part. He can still do an interview at the drop of a hat. He knows what to say and when to say it. He is such a magnet. People love him no matter where we go. It's crazy, courtesy of WrestlingNews.co.
I don't love him. I used to, but I don't anymore. So that's immediately gone up in the shit because I don't love him.
That being said, though, you also wouldn't want to wish like anything seriously bad in terms of health issues to him.
You know that. I just so everyone's aware, I am seizure prone. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, and I'm not wishing that on Hogan. But the fact is, Jimmy Hart has just said everybody loves him. I don't love him. But then again, I would not wish my worst health issue on him either.
No. Hope he's doing well. I'm going to take this another way. I don't really trust Flair on his podcast saying that somebody else has health issues.
Do you really think anybody trusts Ric Flair?
I would, yeah. See, I would wait. I would want confirmation from Hogan himself. Like saying that everybody loves Hogan, I'm completely with Dean. I'm not a fan of Hulk Hogan. Don't wish him health.
Nathan doesn't love him. The problem is, if you say something that's not true, it questions everything.
Yep. And Flair has done that multiple times, which is why I don't trust Flair.
And not to mention, Ric Flair doesn't have the best reputation right now, regardless of what he's done or what he's said.
No, he really doesn't.
Well, that was simple and easy, Fraser. What else have you got for us?
Former WWE announcer Tom Phillips joins Impact Wrestling. Renee Paquette announced on social media that former WWE announcer Tom Phillips, using his real name Tom Hannafin, is joining Impact Wrestling. Hannafin will be doing play-by-play announcing, start with tonight's Hard to Kill pay-per-view.
Whoa.
Tonight? What do you mean tonight?
I'm reading what the article says.
That's why you got a screen, man.
I will correct it when I'm done reading the article because it's already gone by, but we skipped news last time, so
yeah, I think we did skip it, but then again, I've had such a good fun night tonight before we even came on here. I can't even remember half of what was said last week.
So already I want to point this out. Dean, go into our chat. You're going to see something wonderful and something that Michael Fraser did that is not so wonderful. But anyway, go on, Fraser.
Sasha Banks' injury update and how long she'll be out of action. As previously noted, it appeared that Sasha Banks was injured during a match against Charlotte Flair at last Sunday night's WWE Live event in Fayetteville, NYC. Oh, thank you. WWE provided the following update. Sasha Banks suffered a foot injury Sunday evening at a WWE Live event in Fayetteville, NC. After seeking emergency medical attention, it was determined nothing was broken. Sasha underwent an MRI, and it was discovered she had a bruise. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Calcaneus bone. She is at home recovering, undergoing physical therapy. She is expected to be out of action for 6 to 8 weeks.
So, first of all, congratulations to Tom Phillips, perennially underrated. And if you want to watch great banter, listen to him and CM Punk on, I think it was Superstars. As for Sasha Banks, this actually gives me hope for the WWE Women's Royal Rumble. I wish Sasha a speedy recovery, absolutely. But can you imagine WWE scrambling to find a replacement, and then all of a sudden Mickey says, well, there is somebody else who you could probably get. I know her quite well, and get Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh.
Because if you're going to throw Mickey James out of the Royal Rumble,
get Deonna Purrazzo to do it.
Get Deonna Purrazzo to throw her out. That way you can plant the seeds for a storyline on Impact, maybe get some people to turn over there. And on Impact, you get the messaging that anything can happen on any wrestling thing, whether it be Impact, WWE, or AEW. So maybe tune in. We could be anywhere.
Oh, by the way, Fraser, as far as Sasha Banks goes, are you worried that she won't make it to the Rumble?
I'm worried she won't make it to the Rumble because they need every big name they can carry. But if they put Deonna in, that means Triple H has to eat his words again.
Triple H has to do more than eat his words, because not only does he have to eat his words in front of Deonna, he will have to eat them in front of me.
Oh, for the love of God. When I said she wasn't TV ready, obviously that was a way to motivate her to be as good as she is.
I don't think she'll see it that way. I'm sorry, have you never met Deonna Purrazzo? I have, twice.
Yeah, but you don't speak for her.
Oh, but you see, I know of her, and I know. Not to mention all the memories of Rohit Raju. Oh boy. Oh, that was a good night. That was a good night. Oh yes, Fraser, isn't there something concerning Rohit Raju in the news?
Well, Dean, if you'd like to cover that.
Well, in short, Rohit Raju is now a free agent. No idea what his contract status is. I just saw it the other day, and I immediately was mortified to the point where I can't believe I'm not going to have any more Rohit Raju in my Impact life. I was actually quite sad when it broke.
Look on the bright side, though. Rohit Raju has an amazing talent set. It's going to be terrible not having him in Impact, because there goes a guy who's got the possibility to be a number one heel anytime you need a number one heel. But he can go to AEW and get stuff done. He could go to WWE to get stuff done. New Japan, anywhere with his skill set and his mic skill. Like, the world is his oyster.
What a guy he is.
It was the biggest mistake that he's gone.
Yep.
I don't know if he's gone for a reason. That's fair enough. If his contract has lapsed and they've not caught up on it, oh boy, they've lost one of the top heels.
Or if the contract expired and he chose not to renew it, that's fine.
Yeah,
but here's the thing about him: like he was fantastic. Like all the stuff he did with the X Division title, all his matches were great.
Yeah,
all the classic heel stuff he did was great.
Yeah. Well, the interview we had that time, he was absolutely brilliant, and that press pass that time. Oh boy, have I never seen anyone fume so much in my life. But then again, he's been on Impact Press Pass at the question asked by me, so he will do well in his future endeavours. Before I even say good luck in all your future endeavours, Rohit Raju. But you will be missed severely. Particularly since I can't blow his fuses anymore. Oh no, I've just made myself sad. Move it on, Fraser. I'm getting quite upset.
Big Swole addresses Tony Khan's tweet that was directed at her. As previously noted, former AEW star Big Swole addressed her departure from the company and brought up a lack of diversity. AEW president Tony Khan responded by the following on Twitter. Give me a second. The top two AEW execs are it goes mostly into him saying skin color, so I'm just going to list the names instead of...
do that.
I just think it's a lot more appropriate. Mia, Mega, Jay, Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, Mara, Quinn, all one on TV this month. TSL tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. During her latest podcast on Callin.com, Swole commented on the tweet, when I read the TK tweet, it was not necessarily sent to me, but I got a text saying, do not respond to him. It's not worth it at the time. I was already a little suited because there's about to be New Year. So I looked at it and I was like, wow, this is a lot. Overall, I'm very disappointed. A person with that pedigree should know how to respond in a way that doesn't come off in the most negative way possible. I was very disappointed, embarrassed, even embarrassed the people that are there. I really couldn't believe it. Did he even listen to the podcast? Obviously not, because it went completely off the rails. It went completely to counting to people's skin color. It was truly about counting people. I would be naming certain demographics, quotes courtesy of Fightful.com. I'm really trying just to avoid.
Yeah, no.
Shall we just move on, boys? Because this can get ugly very quickly.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to say about that, and it goes back to Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Tony, anytime that you tweet, just like Kenny, anytime that you tweet, you are tweeting as a representative of your wrestling company. So be very, very, very careful, because some of the stuff, it doesn't ingratiate you at all.
No. Oh, additional, every time you tweet, you have about 50,000 guns aimed at your back.
Yep.
So watch it.
And here's the thing. I get he was mad at Big Swole's comments, but he shouldn't have went out and did that. He shouldn't have buried her about wrestling ability, because even he got backlash, even though Leo Rush did do his retract stuff.
Yeah, I heard that. I read that as well.
Tony should have been professional. He should have just been he didn't even have to tweet about it. It could have been a conversation they could have had backstage. Yep. He could have called her and they could have talked about things. But you don't do that when you're head of a company. That would be like Triple H going on Twitter after something happened on NXT and just, firing basically.
Yep.
I don't think Hunter would. Hunter would do a lot of things, but he wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, that would be too far.
Oh, don't worry, Fraser. When we eventually get around to firing you, we'll just say we split amicably. We won't say that you have absolutely performed piss poorly in the last couple of years.
Well...
Cody Rhodes issued a statement regarding his absence from Battle of the Belts. This was before the event. I appreciate everybody reaching out. Brandy and I are in isolation with family that have unfortunately tested positive for COVID. It's been a scary time dealing with such a strong virus and the complications that can come with it. We're doing all we can to nurse and protect the family during this time. I will remain in quarantine as long as needed. Every day is more encouraging. Thank you immensely for your support and respect of our privacy. Thank you to AEW for understanding, allowing me to be where I needed to today, and for still allowing the TNT title to be represented. I look forward to being back as soon. All the love in the world Earlier in the week, Cody had written the following via his Instagram story: "Please get vaccinated, if not for yourself, for the young kids, babies who can't defend themselves as easily from COVID."
Right. Mine will just be simple and brief. We wish the Rhodes family a very speedy recovery, and at the same time, we want everyone to be safe. That's all I got.
Absolutely. I can speak as somebody whose parents, or one of my parents, is asthmatic. I have a history with walking pneumonia. Your number one thing right now, especially with what's going on in the world, is to keep yourself and those you love safe, however you feel like doing it. And in the case of Cody and Brandy Rhodes, absolutely, like, stay safe. We wish you to be safe. And when it comes time to defend the TNT belt, hurry up and lose it to Sammy Guevara like a man.
Indeed. Next.
One of the announced 2022 Royal Rumble participants was meant to be a surprise. Please note, several names were announced for the Women's Royal Rumble match during the January 7th edition of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Danielle Monette, aka Summer Rae, commented on the news that she'll be in the match via her Instagram story. Okay, so obviously I can't sleep. I've been on Twitter and I am so overwhelmed by the amazing response to Twitter by you guys. Oh my gosh, like, we weren't even supposed to announce that I was going to be in the Rumble. It was going to be a surprise, and then I found out a couple hours ago. So I was really nervous to look on Twitter because people are mean, like people just be mean on Twitter, and the response, everyone's so nice. You guys have me and my feels. Everyone's so hyped. I don't know. I've just been gone so long that I didn't know what the response would be like. I didn't know if it'd be positive or negative, and it's just so good. Thank you so much. All my friends are being so supportive, and just the fans, like Russell, Twitter's just insane. I'm just so excited now. I'm happy that I don't have to keep this surprise until the end of the month. Quote courtesy of Fightful.com.
I've actually just had a notification from WrestleMania about a surprise entrant who I didn't think were coming back. I will tell you guys when we finish, but I'm not going to mention it on here.
So in terms of Summer Rae coming back, can I just say I want this, if for nothing else, to hear the Fandango music again.
Oh, I miss Fandango.
I love the Fandango music, but no. Summer Rae, I'm so happy that people are treating her with respect. And I'm even more happy that she's in the Royal Rumble and that you don't have to keep a surprise like that. But if you watch SmackDown, they announced 18 women. 18. And
it's on a shopping list, for God's sake.
Like I can remember I was talking with my cousin, and he's like, did they seriously announce 18 women? Well, where the hell are the surprises?
There's still 12 to go.
Well, he's absolutely right. Why would you announce 18 women?
And no offense, but it's 9th of January today. We've still got 3 weeks left?
Yeah. But
it is 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah, but people want to be surprised at the Royal Rumble. And I'm hoping that they still can be. With the men's, I'm sure they can, even if you announce more. But 1 week is done, and you've already got half of the women's roster gone, and you've got, well, sorry, I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you.
2/3 of the women's roster, I believe.
Yeah. It's roughly 2/3. You've got 7 men and 19 women, including Charlotte Flair. And it's like,
don't get me started on that.
Okay, so you blew your load on the women. Now what are you going to do to keep people hyped for the Royal Rumble? Like, I'm sorry, because you've announced all these people. Is Lita going to come in for a week? Are you going to
Trish Stratus going to come in?
Are you going to have, well, Trish Stratus wasn't announced, but are you going to have Mickie James come and throw somebody over the top rope in a match?
I love
apparently
her
that qualifies you for anything. But the thing is, how are you going to sustain the momentum of having 2/3 of your women's roster announced while still having surprises for the Royal Rumble? That's my question.
Providing there's any surprises left on actual Rumble night.
We could still have Santina Morella, which I would love to see.
Or on Santino or Santina?
Santina.
Yeah, why not?
I'm sorry.
Bob the Glamazon in there as well, because she's already there as it is.
The year that Santina showed up in the Women's Royal Rumble was absolutely hilarious. Oh, you like Santina? Come on.
Makes me glad I wasn't watching it during that time.
She was quick to be in, and she was just as quick going out.
Anything else before I literally feel like killing myself, Fraser?
Well,
this might put you over.
Well, he's fantasizing about Santina right now, so I'm not sure.
I'm trying not to think about him. Actually, sorry, I'm not trying to think about her.
Yeah,
how Triple H was said to have reacted to the WWE NXT releases.
No.
Previously noted, WWE has reportedly let go of several producers, coaches, writers from the WWE NXT, including Joe, Road Dogg, Jesse James.
Fraser, you're torturing us.
Hold on, this is going to lead into our topic if you let me finish.
Yeah, let him finish, please.
Because I want to hear Nathan go off. So during audio update on PWTorchVIP.com, Wade Keller talked about the matter. I talked with people who had said Triple H was building his team that he would bring with him to the main roster, and if his day came to run the main roster, he wanted his group of people. At some point, it was thought that he would include William Regal, Gabe Spolowski, and Road Dogg, and they're gone. NXT just isn't what it once was. I've heard just a little bit Triple H's reaction to all this, and nothing super reportable other than it sounds like he's bummed out. Co-courtesy WrestlingNews.co. As Saturday morning, Triple H has not publicly commented on the release. And then we have a tweet from Regal about his release. Thank you to WWE for a wonderful 21-year run. You gave a lad who was happy in Wonderland Wrestling on a carnival, had a charmed life for 21 years. No complaints, and please no one waste time replying us. I won't have a bad work said against the company. I will add that WWE saved my life in 1999 when they didn't need to, kept my family fed, and took me all around the world. You have my gratitude forever. You allowed me to live a charmed life. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it because I know Nathan's been waiting for this.
Ever such a gentleman to the end. Bless him.
So, how does everyone feel about William Regal's release?
Fraser, why does your face look like Christmas morning?
Because
it doesn't only usually looks like that when he's taking the piss out of trying to take the piss out of Nick Aldis. What is he reviewing? What is he reviewing? Taking the piss out of the Englishman's grief.
I love William Regal though, so it's bittersweet.
Because you're laughing.
No, because at the same time, Nathan wrote in the chat earlier this week, he snapped about William Regal, and that's what I knew.
I did. He's right. I did. He's right. He's absolutely right. But here's the thing, and here's the thing I don't understand. I know in the chat I singled out 2 releases that drive me insane, and I'm going to add a third one to this. NXT, if you're going to brand it as developmental, which clearly you are with NXT 2.0, and you've got somebody noted for training Brian frickin' Danielson on your payroll, and somebody who is talented at just about anything in terms of William Regal, why would you get rid of him if you've got a definitive need for developmental, and you have William frickin' Regal, I might add. You just decide, oh my God, I'm so sorry, we're gonna cut you. No. Talent breeds talent. Have you seen everybody who William Regal has polished off? Look at a tweet from Johnny freaking Gargano saying he would not be Johnny freaking Gargano without William freaking Regal. William Regal can talk. William Regal is one of the best technical wrestlers you can find. William Regal is one of the best heels you could ever find. Hell, the only real hole you could ever see in William Regal's face is William Regal's face game. And I would say, look at his work with Eugene Nick Dinsmore on Raw in 04. And
there is one more failure.
Yeah. And you can see the talent that shines through with William Regal and his mic skill. He has the ability, and it's very hard to teach somebody that, to impart the wisdom and the knowledge that he has. Why would you leave that gem? Why would you let that gem go anywhere else? And I mean anywhere else. And for the record, I'm sorry I have to do this. Even if you don't have Regal around, You had somebody in Road Dogg Jesse James, who, regardless of what you say about him, he is like God on the freaking mic.
He is.
Like he got 4 words over, and those 4 words are, "Oh, you didn't know?"
Down, 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 down.
And then the whole place just goes nuts every freaking time.
First time I ever watched a WWE pay-per-view, I went nuts at 3:00 in the morning.
It's freaking like, you can't teach that unless you are really freaking good at that. And Road Dogg is really freaking good at that. If you look at the talent that has come through NXT and worked its way up to the main roster now, what the hell are you going to do in 2 or 3 years? Michaels can't do everything for you.
No.
And I love Shawn Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels with every fiber of my being. And I am saying that Shawn Michaels can't do.
He's not Super Michaels.
Yeah.
He's not Super Shawn even.
He is, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, but he can't do everything on his own.
No,
I'm saying he's not Super Shawn.
He is Super Shawn, but he
can't. But he's not Super Shawn as in he can't. There's not multiple clones of him.
Yeah,
basically saying, right, one can do this, one can do that, one can go to catering, one can go and suck the boss's knob, etc., etc.
I'm going to let that one slide, Dean. I'm going to let that one slide because you're in pain, Dean. I'm going to let that one slide because clearly you have been affected by William Regal's tragic loss as well.
Don't forget Samoa Joe. That was even more.
No, I'm going. I know you are. I'm going to get to Joe. But you know, I can forgive the fact that Shawn Michaels would destroy Nick Aldis's hopes and dreams just by a matter of just strutting out to the ring, because everybody knows the natural charisma and natural charm of Shawn Michaels trumps anybody.
You would know about that, wouldn't you?
In the history of the professional wreshling business. Yes, I would. Absolutely, I would. He is Super Shawn. But the fact of the matter is, he is. Right. We have all admitted on this podcast that Shawn Michaels is the greatest to ever do it. He's the greatest. Okay, but
as far as doing it himself backstage goes, he can't do it. No one can.
He can't do everything himself. Absolutely, you're right. I'm saying this as somebody who loves Shawn Michaels and thinks he legitimately is Super Shawn. You need guys like Regal. You need guys like Road Dogg. You need all these things in order to be successful. And the thing is, if you have all of those guys and you have all of those parts who are intangible, why the hell do you get rid of them? And you said Joe. Joe kills me because
Joe kills me even more.
Joe kills me. I know Joe kills you even more because, okay, you release him twice in the span of a year. He's brought back once because for some reason the fan outcry was enough to bring him the hell back. I know he's injury prone. I know he's terribly injury prone.
All big men are.
Yeah. The problem that I have though is Joe is one of those people who, if he's healthy, can still get in the ring and impart all of that knowledge in a physical sense that William Regal and Road Dogg can't do anymore. Again, he's perfect for your developmental. Why the hell do you get rid of him? I don't even care if he's on TV or not. He would still be invaluable backstage. Hell, I remember reading reports that he was working as a scout backstage when he was injured. Why? Because Samoa Joe knows that talent. He knows what it takes. Why the hell do you get rid of him? No, you want to know what I think it is? And I'm sorry, I'm going to.
It's not budget cuts, so
I'm going to get somebody very special for this because you're right. It's not budget cuts. I think, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's because people out there want to spite me. And I know this isn't Michael Fraser's doing because even Michael Fraser wouldn't be dumb enough to get rid of William Regal. I had aces in the hole, okay? These are guys that could go anywhere at any professional wrestling level and impart something and be the reason that people succeeded. And if you don't have those minds, if you don't have those guys, then your wrestling company is going to crumble. And I don't see any way
any shape for a succession plan for the WWE. And even better than that, this is just clear knowledge that I'm not running this company in any way, shape, or form. Because I guarantee you, if there was a plan for me, I would guarantee that those guys would all be, along with Shawn Michaels, be inside of my plan to take over this. This is absolute garbage. And I mean that with all due respect, absolute garbage.
If I may intervene a little bit. Right. I first watched NXT, and I think it was 2016, right? This was when they still had Sasha Banks on the books. They had Bayley. They had, I think Oscar was just about coming in. We still had a load of great tag teams. I mean, the Revival were there, etc., yada, yada, yada. Anyone who watched it in 2016 will know how great that roster was. No offense, but who out of that roster in 2016 is still on the roster now? I think Seth was promoted before I started in 2016. Sasha's been promoted, and, well, we'll let Fraser pass judgment on Sasha, but Bayley is now one of the best heels probably in the entire company. Bex was there. In fact, I think Becky was about to be promoted, as was Charlotte. How many of those people that were on NXT when I first started watching it in 2015, 2016 are on that main roster now?
Exactly.
So from my point of view, if that's what it's like 5 years down the road, can you imagine how shit it's going to be in 2027? When not only do you have nobody to go on to the main roster, I'm sure Becky will be on her way out. Charlotte will be on her way out. I think Sasha will more than likely be the new Charlotte because she's still in the prime as she is. Bayley will still be there. Hold on, roster. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure how old Naomi is, but I'm going to assume that she will probably be in the mid-30s by then, bearing in mind I haven't got the official numbers with me. But she will be near enough Charlotte's age, and she'll be thinking about retirement as well. Who else is there? I'm trying to think who else there is. Liv Morgan will be pushing 30, and she will still not have that title she should have.
Naomi's 34.
How old is that? What, she's 34 now?
Naomi's 34.
But she will be retired in 5 years. Natty will be gone as well. Natalia, she'll be gone. And this is just before we get to the guys as well. Because Reigns will be gone. Rollins will be gone. John Cena will be gone. That I can bloody promise you now. Hunter, has Hunter retired? Or is he still?
Yeah. But he, even if he hasn't retired, I don't think WWE would book him.
No. So basically, all of the Shield that remains will have gone. McIntyre will have gone. And that's just basically what, 3 people who can basically carry the company. Lesnar will, well, we don't know if Lesnar will be gone, but in 5 years, I think he probably will.
Deal in existence, man.
Yeah, to be fair, Lesnar could retire whenever he wanted. But from all those names I've mentioned,
Lashley,
they will not be here. Lashley will not be here. Goldberg probably will still be here because he's that.
Everybody loves Bill Goldberg, especially that Michael Fraser.
Must be
him.
But I think my point, gentlemen, in serious, gentlemen, if you don't mind your flirting aside, I think I've just made my point why NXT is going to go downhill. No offense, but Bron Breakker will probably be the only star from that place that goes anywhere.
Especially, I don't know if I'll take that hot of a take on NXT, but I will say, especially if you don't have guys coming in that could replace a guy like Regal or replace a guy like the Road Dogg. If you don't have a succession plan in place, of course NXT's doomed.
Oh, that's the other thing. AJ Styles will be gone.
Oh, yeah.
AJ has actually said that WWE will be his last stop. If this contract, or however many contracts he goes for, will be his last.
Oh, in 5 years, by the way, Roman Reigns will definitely still be around. He's only 36 now.
Oh, yeah, but you're pushing 40, aren't you?
So he'll be 41. He'll be...
It just depends. It just depends how his body is. But yeah, literally, I bet Charlotte Flair will probably be thinking about babies in 5 years. Becky, if she hasn't already extended the brood that she has. But you have no superstars to replace them when they eventually go. I mean, The Miz must be cracking on. He'll be gone at one point or another, if not through reality TV, but his movie commitments as well, particularly if he plays Johnny Cage, which would be very, very nice and a nice change of pace.
Mrs. 41.
Oh, God, he won't be there in 5 years. He doesn't even look it. That's the best thing about it.
And Maurice is 38.
Well, she doesn't. She's only... Maurice doesn't really count because she's having one match at the Royal Rumble, and that was the first time she's wrestled, I think, since the Intergender match between them two and Cena and Nikki Bella. Even if the Bella Twins do come back, they won't be there for that long because obviously Nikki can't wrestle that much because of her neck. I don't even know how she's going to make it.
The tag titles anyway, so
yeah.
They always jump the Bellas to the front of the line.
Tamina will be gone as well, just because you mentioned that. I know Zelina Vega will still be there, Carmella will still be there, but no offense, but Zelina Vega is she's no Becky Lynch, and Carmella is definitely, by any stretch of imagination, no Charlotte Flair. I hate to say this, boys, but I think WWE is going to have to bribe a few people to leave AEW.
Well, they already released pretty much everybody. How many people are even left from the Dusty Rhodes era of NXT anyway? There's Seth, there's Roman, there's Sasha, there's Bayley.
I mean, no offense, but even the comments, no offense to Wade Barrett, but he's no Corey Graves. Tom Phillips made his name on NXT, and I absolutely loved him when he was there with Corey Graves. They were on the main roster. Now he's left. And no offense, I haven't mentioned this when you actually mentioned it, that he's gone to Impact, but I am so glad he's gone because he is just too good to not actually do what his life's work has been, which is basically entertain everyone. I've always been entertained by him. I would not have one bad thing said against him. He is absolute cream of the crop. Fucking hell. He makes Josh Matthews, well, then again, anyone does, but he's way better than Josh Matthews. Way better. Way, way, way better.
Mm-hmm. Basically, anybody we would, even Ricochet, they buried Ricochet so many times over now. Like anybody that could have been like stars. I mean, Raw's in a point right now, they heavily need people. And don't have anybody now.
I never ever thought I would say this, but I think in 5 years, WWE might be in shit. Because you have no one on the roster. I mean, no offense, but how many more people in that company can you cut? And not only that, but if even the best ones are not safe, I mean, Bray Wyatt, I actually didn't think anything would happen. I thought he'd still be there, but he's gone. No one's safe. You do not want that if you go to a place and you're like, right, I am going to work my ass off. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. I'm going to do everything I said I'm going to do. I'm going to make it to the main roster. I'm going to be world champion. But then you get there and you realize, shit, with all the budget cuts in 2021, how the hell is my job safe? Nobody wants that. So yes, gentlemen, I do actually fear that by this time in 5 years, WWE will be in shit so badly that they will not get out of it. Regardless of whether it's being sold or not, I don't give a shit if anybody goes to me and says WWE is not being sold or it is being sold. Regardless of what happens, they will be in shit in 5 years if they carry on down this path. And and I haven't even had my say on Regal yet. Why the fuck would you get rid of somebody who, with all due respect to his credit, he can't even make Goldberg look legit?
Nobody can.
Exactly.
That's
probably the one blemish.
Goldberg is the most legitimate there is, especially you, right, Fraser?
One thing he has failed at is to make Goldberg relevant. And no offense, but everyone does that. But even he failed. He cannot do that. They had so many aces in the hole regarding NXT. WWE would thrive long after they went either next year or the year after. But now all they've done is just shot themselves in the foot. They've lost one of the greatest general managers in history. They've lost Samoa Joe, who basically can do everything, and he actually has a decent eye for talent. And no offense, but if he was actually healthy, he would have had at least a good couple of years left. I think he'll go to Impact now. I generally hope he does. Impact knows what to do with him. And not to mention the rest of the schedule's not as bad as WWE's is. Road Dogg, I will say this. First time I saw him, and I was just like, 3 a.m. in the morning, he did his usual, like Nathan's already done. I literally shouted at the top of my voice, so much so that my mum and dad actually came downstairs and said, what the hell are you doing? And I went, sorry. Why would you get rid of some? Honestly, I'm not even interested in the why they've done it. It's just the fact of they're fucking Triple H over.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I don't care what anybody says to me. You're getting rid of everything that Triple H has built as far as NXT goes. Regal, he hired. Road Dogg, old friend, he had him on NXT. I'm not sure if Joe's a Triple H guy, but
I would argue he is, because I would argue that he was brought back to work specifically in NXT. I believe yes. That was a Triple H hire. So
now, to say that Vince McMahon knows what's best for business, this is not good for business at all.
No.
I mean, no offense, we're not businessmen, but even we know that.
Anyway, Fraser, what are your...
Yeah, because I'm going round in circles, and I'm already halfway to losing my shit just thinking about this. Please carry on, Fraser.
William Regal is the best heel they ever had. He'd rough you up in the ring. He had the look that he looks like he could just headbutt your existence out. He had the best feuds. He was the 2008 King of the Ring, and that was like one of the best times in Raw. They should have put the world title on him. He should have won the ECW title on the last night of ECW instead of Big Zeke, because they didn't bother doing anything with Big Zeke besides his IC title push.
Look what you've done with this topic. You've made Lucian cry.
Yes, you have made Lucian cry very badly.
He had one of these best matches with Bryan Danielson when Bryan Danielson was working the independents. Even Bryan Danielson wore the burgundy gear as a tribute to William Regal. William Regal trained Cassius Ohno, a.k.a. Chris Hero. And you get rid of Chris Hero. You get rid of William Regal. William Regal was the only reason Raw survived pretty much 2008 with the stuff he was doing with Mr. Kennedy when everyone other heel was failing and flopping all over themselves at the time. William Regal literally as a heel is the cornerstone of heel wrestling, and you get rid of him because they watered NXT down. You know what? It might as well just go back to the NXT game show thing it used to be, because it's just a joke now.
Might as well go to OVW.
Yeah, Braun Breaker will probably be the only one that comes out of that as anything. Tommaso Ciampa is supposedly moving up, so NXT's going to fall apart any day now. But literally, William Regal of all people, you got rid of every decent person on the roster, anybody who has any semblance about what to do as a character. And it's just at this point that you might as well just cut everyone from NXT and throw the whole thing out.
Yeah. You know what's really going to suffer when the stocks go up, and literally because there's nothing in the future. They'll think, shit, what did we do? What did we do? Where did we go wrong? And everyone will say, when you buried NXT in 2022 and you fucked 80 people over in 2021. This last year will define how long WWE either stays in business or tries to stay in business. And this is where AEW will thrive as well.
You know, this isn't even the first time they've dropped the ball. They almost killed CM Punk. They misdiagnosed Mr. Kennedy. So instead of him being out for 6 months, he's out for 2 months. So he had to give up the MITB case in a squash match, basically.
I remember
They buried Mickey James. They sent garbage bags to people. They have hit such questionable points down as an organization that I'm surprised they can even figure out how to put the lights on. They've had every best star they could have pushed. They had Bryan Danielson, they had Adam Cole, they had Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro, like they could have put him and Hero together as the Kings of Wrestling, making their tag era even better when tag team was picking up. But you're going to get rid of William freaking Regal. You could have put Regal with the Kings of Wrestling, and we would have had the best heel tag team. And it's like they don't care. It's like watching Joss Whedon do his stuff sometimes, where it makes absolutely no sense. Like when he freaking grabbed Spike's actor and threw him up against a wall, and apparently told him like he's dead because he was pissed he had to keep the guy on his show. Like they buried the Miz, and the Miz was the best thing they ever had. Miz made the IC title matter. Every time Miz is on the microphone, his segment matters. He made everything great, and you're like, here, you can have this pretty much for the night, but we're gonna have you get squashed by this guy. Miz could have got Bobby Lashley over in so many ways, just chasing him for the belt, and instead they pulled this.
Yeah, but the Miz at the very least, the Miz is good enough that he could bounce back from that, though.
Yeah.
When you have somebody like a William frickin' Regal, he had so much in the way of skill, so much in the way of talent. And the other thing I'm going to say too, about any of your questionable decisions, I agree with all of them except for Ken Anderson.
Mr. Anderson was great. His feud with Mr. Anderson was great.
Because I'm sorry, Edge as Money in the Bank is so much better than Ken Kennedy or Ken Anderson as Money in the Bank. It's not even funny.
No, I'm just saying, like, because they misdiagnosed him, like in the questionable way they have the talent is what I mean by the
and then when he came back, yes, it was a stupid mistake that he made. But he still made the mistake.
No, the doctor technically made the mistake.
Well, I'm not talking about his.
Are we on about him suplexing Orton?
Yes.
Yeah, that was for him. That was WWE career suicide.
Yep, absolutely was. But he still made that mistake. Every other place, I agree with you on what you've said. Except for Ken Anderson, I am going to put that one out.
And I'm talking about the first run. Like all that happened like way before that. I'm talking about the first run when they had a momentum when he's getting the MITB case, all the other stuff, U.S. title reign.
I'm talking about when he came back after the MITB thing.
Yeah,
he went off on injury, but it was just he had one match after his whole MITB run that you're talking about, and he kind of committed career suicide on himself by doing that. It's sad in the case of Ken Anderson.
It was
because he's misdiagnosed, but at the same time, Edge's Money in the Bank is phenomenal every time.
Oh no, it's money. I've loved all of Edge's cash-ins, but I'm just talking about the rate they have like screwed people over, or their doctors make questionable calls, like when they almost killed Punk.
Yep.
It's just like it's ridiculous at this point.
I'd Z-pack that.
So I think Regal should have won the MITB case at some point because Regal is that good. I would believe him showing up at the shows they're ready to cash anytime.
Well, see, the thing about Regal is there was one instance where Regal could have been world champion, and I completely understand that he did it to himself. But if you don't think that Regal has the talent or the skill set to ever become world champion, you're crazy. The time I'm talking about, of course, is the King Regal gimmick. He was set to feud with Shawn Michaels and then feud for the belt. And then, he cost himself with a wellness violation, which I'm totally behind. But if you don't, what I'm concerned about is 2009, when you really have nothing new in your main event scene other than a new, fresh, like a freshened up Orton. You could have really used Regal there and you didn't.
Yeah.
And they even buried him with Christian. Remember when it's during their title match, Regal goes to pull his jacket off and Christian hits him with the Unprettier and buries him?
I don't remember that, but I can imagine WWE doing something that's stupid.
Like, they've done a lot of questionable stuff, Regal. And I've seen Regal wrestle live once. and that was him versus Christian on Superstars. And that was like my first Raw. That was like way back. I think it was like 2009. It's when Christian was ECW champ. I think it was his second reign.
I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen Regal wrestle at SmackDown at Sheffield. Off the top of my head, I can't remember because the main thing that night, I remember that night was the one and only time I watched Taker wrestle, and it was against Chris Jericho in the main event. I'm not quite sure if Regal was on the card, but that would actually be one of the things I really, really regret, which is not seeing Regal wrestle live, regardless of where he was. You do realize when you look back, you tend to have a lot of regrets. I mean, obviously, Freddie Mercury is probably one of the best entertainers that's ever lived. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I especially don't care what the producer says about it. He died in 91, I think it was. A lot of people who were fans of Queen never got him to see perform it live. I was one of them. I look even more back on it now and realize just how much that in the last 30 years, how everyone would have missed unless Freddie Mercury was still alive, in which case it would have been so worth it. So, not saying it's on the same level, but as far as wrestling goes, yes, Regal had his ups and downs, but he still should have been at least world champion once. But preferably not ECW, because basically you only go there when you're doing, when they had no place for you on either roster, or in the latter bits when they were basically building the younger ones up, kind of like what NXT is now. But there's always options for Regal. He can go elsewhere. No offense, but him in Impact being sort of like an authoritative figure taking on Scott D'Amore. And no offense, but I love what Scott D'Amore's done with the place. But to have someone of Regal stature come in and say, right, I'm the boss, I run this show now, that would be absolute money in the bank to watch. Not literally. I would have seen go AEW and just go to Tony Khan and say, right, you hand over paychecks, I'll handle the talent. I'll handle the talent, which I absolutely would love to see. But it all depends what he wants to do. If he waiting for the call to go back by Hunter, or I do know one thing. I think a lot of this lot has been, it's been shit. It generally has. I'm just waiting for the day where Shawn Michaels will go.
No, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
But it is a possibility, mate, because no one's safe.
Watch the day he gets released. Nathan's going to call the podcast together. He's going to have me skip the news, and he's just going to go right in the yelling.
You know what I'm expecting when that happens? I'm expecting
not going to happen.
It will happen. I'm expecting him to do a video of the producer to put on Instagram where he is basically looking at it and he's like, "How could you release Shawn Michaels? Are you absolutely bloody stupid?"
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No offense, but did we ever think Bray Wyatt was going to be released?
Hey, Shawn Michaels is better than Bray Wyatt.
Not saying that. I'm not disputing that, mate. I'm simply saying, did we ever imagine the day when we would imagine that Bray Wyatt?
No, I will give you that, but I'm sorry, Shawn Michaels cannot be released.
Tell Vince McMahon that.
I will.
Tell Nick Khan that.
I will gladly do that.
You can tell Hunter that, but I don't think that's going to make any difference.
No, it won't.
But I am dreading the day that happens because I have a feeling.
Not gonna happen.
I'm going to say this now. Whether you want it to happen or not is irrelevant. There is a chance it might happen because, as far as I'm concerned, in WWE and NXT, no one is safe. So, if I may quote the idiotic Hulk Hogan, you better say your prayers, take your vitamins, because I think you will need a lot of that as far as Shawn Michaels goes.
It's not happening, Dean. Don't put that thought in my head, man.
If it does happen, the 9th of January 2022, which is a date that will live in infamy for Nathan. And yes, that will happen.
If it does, we'll start the podcast and Nathan's going to be like, no news, no this, and then he's going to go right in. So
I can just see a rant coming on, in which case we'll just basically put it on social and say, if you would like to know the tone of this week's episode of Bodyslams and Dropkicks, just watch this very short video here. And it was Nathan got basically throwing up securities left, right, and centre.
It's not happening. WWE
It
will
might
not
happen.
do that. WWE is not going to do that. WWE is not going to do that.
WWE will do that. They
WWE
released
is
Regal,
not
and he's
gonna
been
do
one of
that.
their most loyal employees.
WWE is not going to do that. Shawn Michaels is fantastic.
Fraser, you know how I always say this is a democracy?
Yep.
I think this is a democracy because you have voted 2-1 that we absolutely genuinely
You're doing
believe
that
Shawn
just
Michaels
to spite me. It's not going to happen.
You can say that. We could say that, but there's no guarantee that it won't.
I'm not hearing this.
You're gonna have to, mate. It's either hear it from us or hear it from Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Which one would you rather?
Shawn Michaels isn't going to be released.
By the way, we're talking to the wrong boss. You want to talk to Nick Khan about that?
It's okay. Tony Khan will be waiting in the wings if Shawn Michaels somehow wins.
Could you imagine a severe case of blasphemy if that were to happen?
Oh God! Why would you even suggest that? Why?
Oh, it's all right. He can always go to New Japan Pro Wrestling where nobody's ever heard of him.
Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shawn Michaels, though, would be like match of the decade. It would like shatter everything for everybody.
What about HBK versus Okada?
Okada and Shawn Michaels throwing down. Literally, Shawn Michaels just go to Japan, go against all the top guys, and just match of the year, pop up every company, just do that. And just get like the nomination to the point that he's the only one in the category with different wrestlers, just to see how much
Here's a match that I would absolutely love to see. Shawn Michaels versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
We would have to do a live stream of that match. To be honest with you, I would just be like, right, darling, I need my beer and my popcorn. Where is it?
You just hear Nathan and I chanting for opposite people, and whoever wrestler wins that match, the other one never hear the end of it.
Yeah, Nathan would be chanting HBK, and then you'd say sucks.
No, I can't ever say Shawn Michaels sucks as wrestler.
See, Fraser has integrity.
Yeah, well, I was pretty sure everybody in Canada and Montreal used to say that.
Yeah, but even after
they're stupid.
Yeah, they're still really doing it.
They were stupid.
But you know what? I've gotten to see Shawn at least once live, which I'm happy about.
I haven't, which, to be fair, that's another wrestling regret I do have.
And I've seen Bret live once, and that's when he beat Miz for the US title.
Which was a fucking travesty.
What, did he beat Miz?
Bret Hart, who basically is so old, he's old enough to be the Miz's father, beat him. At least when Hunter won the WWE title, however many years ago it was, he actually looked like he belonged in it. Bret Hart does not.
Yeah, but Bret has like head injuries and stuff from that.
Exactly. Bret Hart is basically Canada's version of Raven.
So, but I've seen him live once. I've seen Undertaker once live.
I've seen Taker once.
Edge versus Christian. But I've seen Shawn. It was when Shawn and Triple H took on the Legacy in Toronto.
Yeah. Are these actual like tape SmackDown shows or live shows, Face? Because I just think live shows are a waste of time.
Oh, tape shows. They was during when DX was feuding with the Legacy. It was before the breakup of the Legacy, but it was the night when it was Batista, Shawn, Triple H, and John Cena, and they had Orton in the middle of the ring.
Oh, so it was actual like Raw and SmackDown.
Yep, I was there with one of my buddies, so I got to see Superstars tape live, and then I saw that match. It was the same show that Trish Stratus returned. She had that 6-person tag match. I think it was her, Mark Henry, and MVP versus Beth Phoenix and Tino Morella, and I can't remember the third person was on Santino's team at that time.
Probably not even worth remembering. All right then, chaps. I'm just going to get it out of the way. We go in circles with this because we're all pissed for various different reasons. So, is there anything else really to add to this aside from saying WWE's a load of fucking morons?
Yep.
They've made some very questionable decisions.
In the last year and a bit, I know.
Very
But
questionable.
ultimately,
Oh,
like I
for sure.
said, they're shooting themselves in the foot because in 5 years, they'll have nobody to carry on the mantle once everyone who's in it now is either older or retired or gone.
Never mind, it was Big Show and Jericho and Santino versus them.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
In which case, when that happens, AEW will have officially overtook WWE by then. They've got the roster to do it. They've got the billionaire behind them. They've got TV deals that are sweet, although to be fair, as AEW gets more popular, the money will come in even more because more companies will want them. I mean, no offense, but I think the way WWE's deal with USA Network and Fox is going, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them actually opt out of their deals. And I think the other thing is, I know WWE's been going for a lot longer than AEW, but AEW is actually offering an alternative to WWE, which I don't know about you two, is more appealing to me.
Yep.
Yeah. AEW's only on year 3 and they're still doing really well.
Yeah, give it 5 years, and I still think AEW. I did say originally, I said within AEW's second year they'll be able to challenge, but a lot's happened since then. And I'm actually getting even more sure that WWE will be overtook by AEW within the next 5 years. Just with how everything's going, everyone that AEW signed, the talent that AEW have, and anybody else who's going to be coming in as well. So it's just the future's looking bright for AEW. It's just not looking that bright for WWE.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so we end it there, chaps.
Yep.
Oh, right. Socials. I shall go first because I'm falling asleep here. You can find me on Twitter under Final Cut Talk and Instagram on Final Cut Official. You can also find me doing Twitter's Bodyslams And Dropkicks when I can be bothered to do it because I generally dislike Twitter now. As far as anything else goes, Fraser will do the Facebook one. If we can find something to put up, I will do Instagram one as well.
No. You can find me on Facebook at Bodyslams And Dropkicks Facebook page, along with Fantastic. You can find me on Twitter at 5-Star Wildcard. You can find me on Instagram at Beautiful Michael. Find me on TikTok at Beautiful Michael. And I thought I'd let Nathan have the last word this time because Nathan has been the one going off this episode.
Makes a change.
I, for one, would like to see Jackhammer, the Michael Fraser story. You know, that sounds awesome. So if you're out there, please remember Beautiful Michael on Twitter. Talk to us, Bodyslams And Dropkicks. Make sure to use the hashtag Jackhammer, the Michael Fraser story, because this whole podcast has just been Michael Fraser's fever dream to piss me off. And you want to know what? It worked. It worked. Bravo to you. Bravo to you, you genius, you.
Fraser, it took you one night to piss him off, where it took you 8 months to do it with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, but it's fine because, you know,
So
Body Strong, the backbreaker, Nathan Taster story, we're all
I will take
Yeah, but no offense, but the backbreaker, the Roderick Strong story, has never really bothered him. It bothered him when you kept going on that Kenny Omega is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
But you can't do it now.
Exactly, because Kenny Omega is not the best thing since sliced bread. Kenny Omega is not the greatest at anything.
For this episode, it was worth it. Every the abuse I went through for Kenny Omega was worth it after today's
Excuse me, we gave you 2 nights of roasting. You gave us 9 months of hell.
Yep, and I got the one night of this, and it was worth it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a professional,
which he is,
you can find me on www.deathpixie.ca. If you want to talk to me about voiceover projects, commission me for some of your own, www.deathpixie.ca is the best way to get a hold of me. I do have some stuff in the pipeline, but I can't talk about it right now.
Triple H, your Pokemon Adventure.
That is one of the things in the pipeline that I cannot talk about now. In any case, thank you so much for watching, listening, viewing us. If you do want to do me a favor and hit up Michael Fraser on Twitter, TikTok, I don't really give a crap, wherever his social media things are, ask him, where the hell is Jackhammer, the Michael Fraser story? I, for one, would be greatly appreciative of it. And please remember, fans, do not go at Kenny Omega. He's really sensitive and he doesn't know how to handle himself. Instead, what you need to do is tweet Beautiful Michael and say all the insults about Kenny Omega that you want, and you'll see how a true professional deals with it.
Oh, and one more thing, if there's any Spider-Man fans around.
Oh yeah,
just mention one more day to him. That'll break him.
Well, I mean, you know, if all you have to do is say 3 words,
just 3 words. Make those. It
doesn't really count as breaking them. But anyway, thank you so much. I think to myself, you know, if I can have one more day of podcasting, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, definitely. Just speaking of one more day, I must admit I would like another day of this day. So I would like one more day of today, because today's been epic.
You want to know what I'm thinking of? One more day of Michael Fraser reading One More Day.
Yeah.
You know, if I get 1,000
one more day. One more day of
am
Michael Fraser reading One More Day. The one more day he despises.
If I get 1,000 followers on TikTok, I will drop a video about One More Day. How about that?
That'll never happen.
That'll never happen.
Yeah.
No.
So
on TikTok specifically?
Yep, on TikTok specifically.
Okay. So, can you please remind the folks at home what your TikTok is?
Yep.
My TikTok is Beautiful Michael. You find me on TikTok at Beautiful Michael.
By the way, does anyone know if, in fact, does anyone know Kevin Feige's TikTok or in fact, do we know his? In fact, I know his Instagram handle. I might send him a video saying, please share this so we can get Michael Fraser to read One More Day.
Yeah. We know you don't know who he is, Kevin, but you know.
But don't worry, he's the biggest comic book lover we love, but unfortunately, like every comic book lover, he has a severe hatred of One More Day.
He wants to see the inspiration behind Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, Fraser, how does that feel knowing the comic book you hate is actually one of the inspirations for probably the biggest movie of last year and this year?
And one of the best reviewed for Spider-Man.
Oh, definitely.
It's fine. I'll deal with it when the time comes.
Says the man who can't stand 3 little words known as one more day.
I just think going back, if I could have one more day as Shawn Michaels as a wrestler at his peak, I would want to see him crush Kenny Omega like the little pissant he is with no balls.
It's fine.
Anyway,
one more day, David. Can we have one more day of one more day's worth of podcasting, please?
Oh yeah, we totally should have one more day of podcasting.
Yeah, one more day of podcasting, please. We just need one more day, one more lovely day.
Yep, it's true. Anyway, thank you so much.
Anyway, let's not. I think we've roasted him enough.
Thank you so much for listening to us, and we mean that. Thank you so much for inviting us into your homes every week.
One more thing. Whoa. That if accompanying this, we did actually interview a lady. We did it Michael Fraser-less, by the way. Mr. Fraser could not be bothered to show up for whatever reason. We literally can't remember.
Yeah. So you just said you'd be adding me after, so I thought it meant you two were just.
So technically, you were late as it was, and we thought, we
don't know what was going on with the kids or anything like that.
Yeah, we were actually genuinely worried. We thought something had happened to you.
Alicia needed a bottle and stuff, and pretty much usually we started like 9 or 10, and I didn't hear anything as usual. So,
blame the producer. Is that what you're doing?
I would never blame the producer.
That's not surprising, is it?
But that's the producer's job.
The producer's job is to organize everything.
It's the producer's job. I'm just saying. It seems like there's hostility there, and I'm sure if Fraser had one more day, he'd take it back. But he doesn't have one more day, and he'll
never have one more day because he will always have one more day's worth of. Oh, I love the producer. I'm not going to say anything bad against her.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for inviting us into your homes. On behalf of myself, on behalf of Dean, and on behalf of Michael Fraser, I would love to have one more day with you. And I'm going to have one more day with you all next week. Thank you so much.